Welcome to the District Yoga, and welcome to your shoulder health practice. This is going to be a myofascial practice focused in and around the area of the shoulder joint. We'll touch lots of different areas, lots of different muscles that attach and make up the rotator cuff. You will need one block, 2 balls, and then I'm going to have a blanket nearby just because sometimes you might need some padding, and it's nice to be able to put that blanket on top of a ball if you ever need it. I'm also going to start with it underneath. We're going to start into the area of the pecs. And to start out, we're just going to start with one ball. So move the block and one other ball off to the side. And we're going to get into the area of the pec. So we're going to come onto our belly to start. And then we're going to place the ball really in or towards the edge of that armpit inside towards the pec. We're going to find a cactus arm with the arm that we're touching into to start out. We'll do one side at a time and we'll start there. So go ahead and make your way onto your bellies. Bring that ball along with you. I'm going to kind of be at a little bit of an angle so you can see where the ball is going to go. I'm going to place the ball right underneath that pec. Again, I'm going to have a cactus arm with that right arm. We're going to start off on the right side. And then go ahead and let that cheek fall off to the side. Just take a couple moments just to let that ball sink in, just to feel that pressure, that compression. Maybe a couple moments of breath. And then as always, if you're okay here, stay here. If ever you needed to lighten up the sensation through that area, you could always stick a second ball underneath close to that first one. But otherwise, we're going to add on a little bit. So we're going to start to roll onto our right side. Our head is still on the mat. We're just going to roll to our degree. So it might just be a little bit lifting that left hip towards the sky. You might still be pressing into the earth with that left hand. In fact, if you wanted to bend through that left knee to kind of create a kickstand effect, I'm going to lift my arm so you can see my ball right underneath here, finding that pec. Just take a couple moments once you found your position and just let that ball sink in to that area. You might already feel a ton of sensation. If that's you, again, you could always add a second ball that just disperses the area for that sensation, the connective tissues. And just allow yourself to breathe here. Couple rounds of breath. So although the pec is not necessarily part of the shoulder or the rotator cuff, it definitely impacts that range of motion as well, right? So definitely touches into that area and impacts what we do, as we might reach for something or pull for something or whatever we might need in that instance. So we'll start here, just a few rounds of breath. Take a huge inhale. Let that go, sink a little bit more into that ball. Try not to resist. Beautiful. Last 5. You don't need a ton of time to let this do the work. For 4. For 3. Last 2. Last breath out here. Slow as you need, start to press that left hand back into the earth. We'll just gently roll our bodies back towards center and then lift the head so that you can remove that ball off to the side. Just turn the cheek off to one side, maybe arms and cactus arms here. We are going to switch sides, so if you're with me, take a breath in. Massive breath out. I'll give you the back view this time. As I just bend to that left elbow, I place that ball into the pec. And again, my head is going to come onto the earth. My right hand is going to press into the mat. Just take a couple moments just to let that land. Maybe a few rounds of breath. One side might feel different right away. And if you're with me, go ahead and press through that right hand. We're slowly going to roll onto your side to your degree, lifting that right hip up. Again, you could keep that right leg extended back, or I like to create that kickstand as I bend through that right knee and allow that knee to come towards my chest and land on my mat. If ever you needed to adjust the ball, if you felt like it moved, you could absolutely do that. Cheek off to the side, just allow yourself to readjust if you did. And then give yourself a few moments, again, to let this land in your body. For me, I definitely felt a lot more sensation on my right side, so just be aware of that. It might be different. And ultimately, what we're trying to do is just rehydrate the area, bring back some circulation, some blood flow to that space. We'll give this 5 more rounds of breath, finding this pec, the compression into it as you let the breath, maybe you inhale, press that ball away. Exhale, maybe let that ball sink just a little deeper. Last 3. Last 2. Beautiful. Last one. Take an inhale. Stay there. Let that go. And then slow, we're going to make our way back towards center. Press into that right palm. Slowly lower that right leg back down. Remove that ball. Turn the cheek off to one side. Just let the arms come down the side body. Take a couple of moments just to let the front of the body melt into the mat. Giving yourself the space to breathe. Maybe you feel a bit connected to the earth. From here, take an inhale. Exhale, let that go. Hands underneath the shoulders. Let's press our way up to tabletop position. We're just going to come onto the right hip here. We're going to grab the block and then place that on its middle height. It's going to be parallel with the top of your mat. And then we're going to grab one of those balls and we're just going to keep the ball nearby. Mine kind of rolled away, so I wanted to grab it just to have it nearby. If you did have a blanket, you might want to scoot it up a little bit. And then we're going to bring the bottom edge of the block again to that pec in the front side and the lat on the back side. So go ahead and let the armpit just land down. You're going to place a bend through that right elbow, most likely a bend through both knees as you let that left hand land onto the mat. Kind of like this Cleopatra shape where you're laying into. And I want you to just land here. So right away, we already started into our pec. So you might want to just lean back to start out. We will move forward and back and work into both the pecs and the lats again. So just take a couple breaths. Maybe right away you feel any sensation, depending on where you landed. Last couple breaths here in stillness. If you did want to stay in stillness, you're more than welcome to. If you wanted to add movement, we're just going to rock forward and back, keeping the hand supporting the head, just leaning forward, coming back towards that pec. And then slow as you need, just making your way back, coming all the way back to the back side of that lat. For me, my lats definitely have a ton of sensation. I love getting into this with the block. Lean it forward. Lean it back. If you do find a place that you maybe want to stay and do some micro movements front to back, that might be a good option. Otherwise, just go ahead and lean forward and back for 5, for 4, Last 3. For 2. And 1. Find your way back to stillness. In fact, go ahead and lean back towards that lat. Take a big inhale. Big breath out. And then from here, we're going to add on. We're going to grab that ball. So grab the ball with the left hand. Press into that elbow. Let the right hand come down to the earth. We're going to bring the ball on top of the block and then allow that armpit to fall on to that ball. So first it was on the block. Now it's falling on to the ball. That ball is really wedged into that space. And right now we get into what we call the subscapularis. So it's really the front side of our scapula is the muscle we're touching. For most of us, we tend to not touch this muscle too much because the scapula sits right on top of the ribs. So it's an area that you kind of can't dig into. We're just going to try to touch into it a little bit. Place that hand underneath the head if not already. Place the left hand down towards the mat. We're just going to start to lean forward. And if this is way too much sensation, don't lean forward. Just stay where you could and breathe. If it's also way too much sensation, you're always more than welcome to bring a blanket on top of that ball. Stay here. Again, it's a muscle we can't really quite touch too much. So likely lots of sensation happening. We're just here for 5, for 4, for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly lift back up. Bring that palm back down to the mat. Remove the ball. Remove the block. Just come onto your back. Oh, goodness. And right away, you might notice that sensation, that blood flow coming back onto the right side. Just let the arms fall down by the side body and just take a couple moments just to allow yourself to notice. Notice all the sensations happening through that right side. For me, I'm feeling that blood flow, that circulation come back all the way down to my wrist and to my fingers. So notice, we touch through the pecs, the lats, the subscapularis here. Notice how much sensation ran back down through the arm. Maybe this sense of curiosity of how much our shoulders might impact different areas of our body. Take a big breath in, big breath out. We're going to make our way onto the other side. So for you, you might just want to come onto the left hip. I'm going to go ahead and still continue to face you. So I'll switch sides on my mat. I'm going to grab a block, set that block on its middle height again, parallel with the top of your mat. And then again, we're going to come into that Cleopatra pose. Left arm will extend out as you let that armpit fall onto the block. Bend through that left elbow, catch that head with that left hand, and just land here. Take a couple breaths. Just breathing into the pecs, into the lats here. Right hand maybe on that right hip or right side body. Just breathing. And again, you're more than welcome to stay just here in stillness. This will give you enough. If you want a little bit more, we're going to rock forward and back. I'm going to place my right hand low as I start to lean forward towards that pec. And then slowly start to lean back towards the lats here. Beautiful. Slowly lean forward. Side definitely feels a bit different, a little tighter for me. So maybe notice that if that's the same or any different for you. I'm going to come back towards my lats. I tend to, again, hold a lot of tension, a lot of stress there. So I'm going to lean back and just rock slightly forward and slightly back. Again, if you want to stay or continue with rocking towards the pec and then rocking towards the lat, you can. We'll be here for 5, for 4, last 3, for 2, and 1. If you're leaning forward, slowly start to lean your way back towards that lat. Take one more huge breath in. Massive breath out. Press through that right hand. Slowly grab that ball. Really press into that left elbow. We'll bring that ball underneath the armpit onto the block. And then again, place a bend to that elbow. Catch the head with the hand. And just let yourself land here. Might feel completely different than the other side. Again, if you wanted a blanket on top of the ball, you absolutely could. If you needed to adjust the ball, I feel like I need to put mine a little bit back in that armpit, you could. And then just breathe here a couple moments. Again, trying to touch into that subscapularis. It's a challenging place to touch, again, because it's the front part of the scapula that really is wedged in between the ribs and the scapula. Take a big breath in. Big breath out. Stay there. Let that ball sink in just a little bit more. We're going to lean forward with this just a little bit more. Lean forward, lean forward. Stay here. Breathe, breathe. Last couple breaths, last couple moments. Subscapularis here. Whew. Take one more huge breath in. Massive breath out. Beautiful. From here, we're going to slowly start to press into that right hand. Lift up and off of that ball so you can move it off to the side. Scoot that block off to the side as well. And just make your way onto your back. Coming onto your back, letting the arms fall down the side body. Just taking some time to notice. Maybe you notice the shoulders. We haven't even gotten towards the back side of the shoulders yet, but we're definitely inching our way there. Maybe a little freer through the front body, the pecs. Maybe notice how the scapula even falls against the ribs here. Take a breath in. Massive breath out. And from here, I'm just going to lift up to show you where we're going. So we're going to come to the back side this time, and we're going to use both balls. We're going to come into what's called the infraspinatus. So I'll turn around. I'm going to show you quickly. If you can, maybe you lift up, and we're just going to find the spine of the scapula with our fingers. So palpate the spine or your backside. You're going to find this kind of ridge, bony ridge, which really is the spine of the scapula. So we're going to touch both the bottom side and the top side. So if you lower the fingers down and just kind of create some circles as you palpate that, that's your infraspinatus and where we're going to go with that ball to start out. If you come back to that spine of the scapula and then come to the top side, this is what you call the supraspinatus, or the superior side, superior muscle on top of the scapula. So we'll move from the bottom, or the infraspinatus, and then make sure we're not on the bone. We'll move to the top, the supraspinatus there. So we're going to use 2 balls at a time. Go ahead and grab both of them. Come onto your back. I do have the blanket just for support underneath my head. And then we're going to place 1 ball at a time. Again, if you need to feel for the spine of the scapula, we're just going to be right below that. So I'm going to place that ball there. Spine of the scapula on the other side, right below that. And then let the arms come out wide, maybe to a T to start out. I'm going to place a bend through both knees and just plant the feet onto the earth. Take a couple moments just to land here. A few rounds of breath. Beautiful. For most of us, we definitely will feel sensation here. Most of us tend to actually have a weak infraspinatus. So here we're just going to wake up that area, say hello to those tissues, rehydrate, replenish that area, and maybe just allow them to get a little bit of replenishment. If your arms are wide to a T, let's go ahead and just create cactus arms. You might feel a little bit more sensation through that space. Take a couple breaths, just land there. Letting the ball just sink in just a little bit more as your breath out lets go. Beautiful. From here, we're just going to start to press into the feet. Lift the hips up towards the sky. It's just going to add just a touch more pressure or compression into those balls. Take a breath in. Lower the hips down. Couple more like that. Inhale to lift up the hips. Exhale to lower them back down. If ever it was too much sensation, you could just stay. Lift up. Exhale to lower. Last two. Inhale to lift the hips. Exhale to lower. Last one. Inhale, stay here for 3, for 2. Last big breath in. Slowly start to lower the hips back down. Just one more little thing. With the bend kept in the elbows, cactus arm, just bring the palms up towards the sky, really the fingertips up towards the sky. Palms can face each other. And just start to lower down. Find your degree. You're probably not going to go all the way down. Lift up to the sky again, and then just come back. Again, you have this kind of goalpost arms. We're just moving the fingertips or the hands forward and back, really kind of 45 degrees, then to 90, and then to that 135. Last 3, moving through that area, hydrating those tissues for 2. Last one. Oh, for me, this feels so good. Take one more breath in. Hands back to cactus arms. Take that big breath out. And then from here, moving one ball at a time, we're going to move up to that supraspinatus. So again, if you need to feel for that spine of the scapula, do. And then it's just above that. So find your way to the supraspinatus. It's really that top edge of the top edge of the spine of the scapula. I'm going to lift my arms up and overhead just because I know I want a little bit of additional pressure. But if you were okay with the arms out wide, you could go there. For me, it feels nice to bend through the elbows. Just bring the hands to the blanket. Take a couple breaths. Just land. Again, finding some compression and just allowing that ball to sink in to hydrate the tissues there. Stay here for 5. Last breath in. If you'd like to stay here, absolutely stay here. If you'd like a little bit more, I like to bring my hands up towards the sky and just create circles. So my hands like to go opposite ways to start out because we have both balls. Just find circles with the hands. They don't have to be big. They don't have to be super small. They don't have to be in any particular direction. In fact, if you wanted both arms to go in the same direction, you could. I just tend to automatically go to opposite directions. If you did Go one direction, switch directions here. Last 5, for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Start to lower the hands back down towards the blanket, up above the head. Take one more big breath in. Massive breath out. One by one, slowly remove the balls off to the side. Our last area we're going to touch is going to be the traps. So I'll just show you quickly. We're going to touch into the upper part of the shoulder, the traps here. So no particular area, no particular space. Just find a place that you feel comfortable in. We're going to use the block, so go ahead and grab your block, have it nearby, and then just land back onto your back, bend through the knees again. And from here, place one ball at a time. And right away, you might already notice or feel sensation through that space. Make any adjustments as you need. Take a couple breaths. And then if you're okay here, stay here. Always more than welcome to stay. If you'd like a little bit more, we're going to slide that block underneath the sacrum, finding your height. I'm going to go on the lowest height to start out, but I might flip up to that middle height. Most of us won't necessarily go up to the highest height, but if that's for you, go there. And then you'll just start to feel this as you lifted those hips up. We have a little bit more pressure, downward pressure on towards the balls. Just stay here a couple breaths. Again, if you want to stay on the lowest height, you can. If you'd like to flip up to the middle height, that's always an option. I think I'm okay here. And then if you want just a tad more, we're going to go ahead and find movement of the arms. Palms are going to face down to start out. And again, if ever you find a place that you want to stay in the traps, find it, stay there. Otherwise, we're going to find movement by lifting the arms up towards the ceiling, up towards the sky. Maybe stay here a couple breaths, notice. And then I like to bring my hands up and overhead so they reach back, palms still facing up towards the sky. Whoo. I definitely feel it there. In fact, I might want to stay here, bend a little bit through the elbows. But if you wanted to keep that movement going, go ahead and reach the palms up towards the sky again. Lower the palms back down towards the earth. Keep moving if that was for you. Stay in any place if that was for you. I'm going to stay with my arms up and overhead. Stay here. Just give whatever you're doing 5 more rounds of breath. Again, hydrating the tissues in and around the shoulder, finding that healthy, stable hydration of our shoulder. And ultimately just getting into shoulder health, right? It's nice to keep the area nice and fluid, no Velcro, no sticking in any place, so that we can have our full range of motion and we can do what we need to do on the daily. Take your last couple breaths. If the arms are up and overhead, take one more. Slowly lift the hands up towards the sky again. We'll gently bring the palms back down towards the earth. If you are on the block, just lift the hips up. Slowly slide that off to the side. Lower the hips back down. And then just one at a time, just remove the balls off to the side. Again, I have a blanket underneath my head just for some additional support. Let the arms fall down by the side body. Let the legs extend out long. And just slip into a nice, comfortable Shavasana here. We won't be here super long. I just want you to take a couple moments to notice your shoulders. Notice the front side of the shoulders. Even the sides here. all the way to the back sides that we touched. Even the tops of the shoulders here. Maybe you feel a little more connected with the earth underneath you. The shoulders feel flatter. Maybe you feel a little more warmth through the upper body. A little more circulation. As again, that hydration just sneaks back into your connective tissues. You're more than welcome to stay in a complete Shavasana if you have the time. Otherwise, we will say that that is the official end. Thank you so much for coming back again. I hope your shoulders feel wonderful after this class. Namaste.